So you have the independent black woman.
I know how to read. I read books to educate myself. I don't need to use nobody and be like, oh, I'm gonna keep them around because of this. I'm not the person that needs you. I got me at all times.
You have the strong black woman.
Real recognize real, and I see it ain't no leader in you. Period. Right? See that's intimidating to a man. Can't no man deal with me.
And then you have the black woman that's like meek and meager and submissive.
Especially while so many families are simultaneously teaching their daughters that submission to men is a must for a godly union.
So, wait, wait a minute, right? But what happens is you're telling her that, but she's listening to you play Sexy Red in the car. So what you're doing is you're giving her two different signals. You're giving her from your lips of what she should do, and then from Sexy Red lips of what she gonna do.
Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it.
All right, so in our community, right, it is they don't have like a certain type of way that they guide black women. So you have the independent black woman, you have the strong black woman, and then you have the black woman that's like meek and meager and submissive. So
wait, wait a minute.
they're hard to find because they've been reformed. But and we'll play the video so you can see what I'm talking about.
Black girl to raggedy baby daddy pipeline got our daughters in a chokehold, and I'm finally ready to talk about it. Let's talk about how black girls are not given the tools, the guidance, the space, or the grace to interact with and learn from the opposite sex as adolescents, and it's so damaging to them in their future. We are told during like all of our most formative years that our only focus should be pursuing our education and or career. You know, we done heard books before, boys because boys bring babies. It's like drilled into our head, those little sayings. The downside is dating and navigating sexuality is a normal part of growing up. Right. Y'all do a disservice to black girls and black boys when you pretend as if this part of them doesn't exist. Or worse, you teach them that exploring these parts of themselves makes them fast or nasty or hellbound. When we bypass that part of life, of growing up without real support, it leaves us more susceptible to manipulation and abuse, especially while so many families are simultaneously teaching their daughters that submission to men is a must for a godly union. We are sent out into the world without enough knowledge on, but plenty of shame surrounding our bodies. We're also given no knowledge of the trappings of relationships that happen outside of getting pregnant, mentally, emotionally, and physically. We're not armed with the self-confidence or the self-assurance we need to set healthy boundaries or to weed out toxic behavior patterns that we see in our partners. And then y'all cannot wait to I told you so and should have kept your legs closed to the girl that ends up manipulated and pregnant and or humiliated and embarrassed by the first boy that speaks real sweet to her. Like, when did you really tell her? When did you really, really tell her? Shit's brazy to me.
Exactly.
Yeah?
It is so much being a black woman.
Come on, bruh. with the Crimea River.
No, but seriously,
Oh, my goodness.
What are we teaching them? Like, they teach you to grow up, be independent, be able to handle your own, and then you have that, and then they also want you to be meek, meager, submissive.
Who's this they you speak of? This they.
The community. It's the community. Okay. If it's not the community, then why are people crying that they're single, lonely, some people even destitute? They can't be in a relationship long enough. Their values don't line up.
That's easy.
All right, go to the next video so you can see.
Hey, mama taught them that. What you talking about?
Okay.
That's what mama taught them. What you talking about? If daddy wasn't there, who taught him?
Those single parent households, right?
The mama. Which one?
So this is the
this one right here. Hold on. The one right here.
The next.
That one.
Well, you can go to that one too.
No, wait. No, I want you to that one. That one.
Okay.
That one right
So
here.
yeah, so this is she's bragging on her freedom, right? She's an independent woman.
Yeah.
This is what this results to, and people are expecting for this type to
Mm-hmm.
carry on a relationship.
I pay my own bills. I fund my own career. I love the fact that I can be done with whoever because I'm not a person that needs you. I pay my own bills. I fund my own career. I take care of me. I know how to read. I read books to educate myself. I don't need to use nobody and be like, oh, I'm going to keep them around because of this. I'm not the person that needs you. I got me at all times. I can truly step back and be like, I don't like this. I ain't feeling you. I'm up out of here. I don't need you. It's 1,000 yous. It's on the one of me. Because I got me. I'm one of one. I done been through too much by myself and did too much alone for me to ever feel like I got to stick around people or a person that I don't like because I feel like I need them. I'm going to need y'all to start really standing on y'all business and setting y'allself up and aligning y'allself. That's real freedom. Y'all ever seen somebody that only stick with a man or a friend or family members because they feel like they got to use them, they need them for something? They be like, man, I need them for this. But he pay my bills though. But she do this, she do that. Man, they got to do this for me. And then no. I got me. Set yourself up. Start going to the library. Start reading. I spend too much time in solitude by myself and taking care of me to feel like I got to keep you around. Hashtag, I changed my mind. I can get out of there.
Okay.
How long that's gonna work?
But she spoke facts though.
But how long does that work?
She spoke facts. You know what that leads into? Now
Vivica A.
that
Fox.
that leads. Yep, Vivica A. Fox.
Are you dating?
Yeah.
How's it going?
I'm wanting to date.
Yeah.
It's limited resources out there, right?
Yes.
Because I'm not getting on an app.
Why? You're just not into
I'm
it.
old fashioned. I'm like, I need to meet you and sparks happen and stuff like that because I just believe people make up stories saying who and what they are.
Exactly.
And
What are you looking for at this stage, this point?
a partner.
Yeah.
And when I say a partner, I want someone that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's not intimidated by who and what I am.
Yeah.
That likes to travel.
Yeah.
Going to let me go shopping.
Yeah.
But it's only a certain amount of stuff that you can take. But with her energy, it often ends up into that masculine. She'll start shaping into like a masculine or an alpha female, not masculine, but into an alpha female. And show the clip of the alpha female.
Take to be a leader. You can't just show up to me, I'm the man, I'm the leader. No, boy, it take one to know one. Real recognize real, and I see it ain't no leader in you. Period. Right? See, that's intimidating to a man. Can't no man deal with me. Can't no man rock with me because as a woman, I would have to cut down all it is to make him feel like the leader. No. Because I'm the type of person that's going to demand that you be one. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. I'm going to make you feel like one because you would already feel like one if you were one.
She right on that too.
She is though.
She is right.
So with that being said, how are they supposed to come into a relationship when it's expected for them to tone down and be like in a submissive state in order to?
Okay. This is the first problem.
Mhm.
First problem was the woman, the mother, the woman. I guess you could say the bloody red queen, with the blue, red bonnet on her head,
Mm.
looking like something out
You don't
of-
think she
look-
spoke facts though?
But she looking like the red queen out of Alice in Wonderland.
was she
What are you doing?
was she not speaking facts?
So you can say one side. You can tell your child,
Mm-hmm.
which is what we're doing, telling our daughters to don't worry about boys,
Mhm.
get your education, get what you need, so that you can become the next girl
Yeah.
that don't need no man, right? But what happens is you're telling her that, but she's listening to you play Sexy Red in the car. So what you're doing is you're giving her two different signals. You're giving her from your lips of what she should do, and then from Sexy Red lips of what she gonna do. That's the one problem right there.
Mm.
Because okay, go for it. Go for it. What you got against that? Let's break this down one at a time. Break it down one at a time. Let's go.
Okay, all right. What if they're not playing Sexy Red in front of them?
Then you
But
need to
there's
explain
also
the rest of it. You got to
okay,
explain the rest of it.
okay.
So if you not listening to Sexy Red, but
Mhm,
you find that young man that is braggadocious,
mhm,
that act hard, that play sports, that the alpha male in the school,
mhm,
you find him attractive. But why do you find him attractive?
mhm,
The real reason is because you're naturally drawn to that person, that type of man,
mhm,
because the female depends on the man for the protection in nature, not in
mhm,
human, but in nature. That's why the deer end up
mhm,
getting a doe end up getting with a buck that's got the most horns, because that looks like the strongest for protection. How
So
deer go against each other with
so
their
f
horns
so female
for mating purposes.
so females
Naturally want
naturally want somebody to protect
yes,
them, even if they can protect themselves.
yes, because
Okay.
it's naturally in our instinct. That's
Mhm,
why a man naturally wants a woman with big breasts and wide hips, because those are birthing hips. Those
mhm,
are breastfeeding breasts. That's what that woman is designed to make you have healthy offspring.
mhm,
That's a natural instinct to want that. When you don't explain that part to a child
mhm,
or a teenager, they think that they're supposed to want that, and they don't care what else you're saying, because all you're saying is don't mess with boys,
mhm.
instead of explaining why you feel this way,
Yeah.
and then explaining that's what your natural flesh wants. Your
Mhm,
mind needs to override that and look for someone that actually has a head on their shoulders. It's not always wanting to be in the front, but got
mhm.
the grades in the back.
Yeah.
But we don't do that explanation. So then we end up with, while we're doing that and teaching our girls to be go getters and all of this, and saying you need to make the right decisions. When you tell a girl to make the right decision, but you
Mhm,
don't challenge the boy when he's making wrong decisions, you're training the girl to be a leader and actually make cognitive decisions that are for her greater success. But you're bringing down the capabilities of that young man, because you haven't challenged him enough to think past his feelings and go for what actually really makes sense and will be ultimate for his success. Hey, hey, you. Yeah, you. You. You with the face. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you. You're not doing that.
mhm.
We're killing it on both sides, and then the girl is a leader and the
Yeah.
boy is not a leader, because he doesn't know how to lead, because he never got taught how to think critically and cognitively about the things that he does, and
Mhm,
focus only on his feelings. So we have robbed both the boy and the girl for not being able to understand who they are, and what they're capable of, if they have the right information.
So you think that is only within the single parent household where the mom's raising them, or do you think it's in both settings
Well,
where
statistics show
mhm,
that a household that has a mother and a father in the house
is more
is more
successful?
successful,
Yeah.
and the statistics also show that it is also more successful for a child to be raised by a single father. I'm not saying that I'm not being subjective. I'm just saying that's what statistics show,
Mhm,
because a man, and this is what I believe, a male figure, especially one that has to be there to bring up the household,
mhm,
has to think more cognitively and with better decisions, because he can't depend on a woman. For the most part,
mhm,
he can't depend on a woman to bring in income, or to depend on her for the income. He has to be able to provide for himself and his child. The
mhm,
mother, they don't they have to do the same thing,
mhm,
but they are they are more emotional and more capable of communicating mostly in emotions.
mhm,
I love you, therefore I do this for you,
mhm.
versus I do this because this is what we have to have to sustain our household.
And that's what makes it an unbalanced scale. Not only to say that what how you feel, what you think dads raise children better. They might raise them better in a certain sense, but there'll always be that lacking of the child not having the
The mom.
emotional intelligence in order to make decisions as well.
Yeah.
Because you also have to put emotional intelligence in it, because that's where you get empathy, and when you're able to empathize with someone and sit and see from someone else's point of view.
Do you think?
Without
Do you
without
think? Go
Mhm.
ahead. My bad.
Go ahead. Without that, you're not able to be super sincere or sensitive, or delve deep down into your feelings and be able to express yourself. Most people like
Right.
that are the people who like bury their feelings and have to go um resort to other things in order to make them feel good.
So do you think a person learns more emotional intelligence from their mother or from their father?
From the mother.
Why you say that?
Because women are emotional. So we make emotional decisions, sometimes rash. It doesn't mean that every decision that we make is based off of feelings. But a lot of times we look a little bit deeper into it instead of going, okay, I'ma just use my brain. We mostly operate off of our heart.
Right.
Your heart is faint, and your heart can lead you in a wrong direction.
Yeah.
It's not always to say that your mind is the right thing, because not everybody is cognitively able
Yeah.
to make sound decisions. So
Mm-mm.
they're making decisions based off of the best of their knowledge, and they go forth from
I
that.
think they make decisions more on their feelings.
Mhm.
I think that's why that's the main reason. The biggest, I think, emotional intelligence is the major reason why there should be a mother and a father in the household.
Yeah, and that's why I
That
say it
be,
should be both, because if you have one and not the other, it doesn't benefit you in any way.
yeah.
Because if you're lacking that one thing, then the part that you're lacking, you're always gonna look towards something else to fill it. And it doesn't say that the thing that you do find to fill it is actually what you need in order to succeed, but it can end up breaking you down. And that's why a lot of people are broken, because they don't have that unit. Right?
Yeah. But all I was just saying was like the emotional intelligence piece is because, like you said, women,
Mhm.
that you're more in touch with your emotions,
Mhm.
and I don't, and that's dependent on the man and how he was raised by his mother
Yeah.
and father. But the emotions piece
Mhm.
it can harm you very. That's why so many women end up being single mothers,
Mhm.
because they get tagged on the emotional piece
Mhm.
of I love him, I care for him. I because I love him, I
Mhm.
think the best of him. I think he has the most some potential, and then I get pregnant because I loved him versus my mind thinking this guy has not any
Mm.
capability of being successful to run a
Mhm.
household or to help me run a household. So the emotional intelligence part is less. The emotion comes from the women. The ability to express emotions come from the mother,
Mhm.
but the ability to have intelligence and
Mhm.
how you express your emotions, I think comes more from the father, because
Mm.
men have to be more capable of controlling their emotions, even in the workplace, in the home life, and in every sense of the way. Because even if I get emotional out at a bar,
Mhm.
I'm gonna end up fighting somebody. I'm gonna end up in jail, and if I end up in jail, it's just gonna get worse. We have to make decisions that you know what? The biggest piece that a man has to make an emotional, intelligent decision is
Mhm.
when his woman makes him mad.
Mm. And I
That's the
think
biggest piece of emotional intelligence.
that's true, because everybody has that capability of like toning down the anger and toning down the explosiveness. Because if you think about it, when you're on your job and you having a bad day,
Yeah,
and you don't go there with the sense, oh, everybody's gonna have a bad day just because I'm having a bad day. You're still pleasant. You're still kind to people. You're
not
still
necessarily.
answering.
I've
But
been I've
if you
engaged
want to
with a
keep your
lot of
job,
people that had attitude,
if you want to keep your job, if
and
you
depending on
don't,
the manager. Because if the manager got bad attitude, then the employee's gonna have a bad attitude too, and they're not gonna fire nobody.
Well, how long does those companies last? Not long, because they end up with.
Depending on how big the company is.
um,
But here's the reason though. The reason I wanted to say, the reason I was saying, the man has to have emotional intelligence when he
mhm,
has his when his spouse makes him angry,
mhm,
is because if a woman gets mad at her husband,
mhm.
she could knock him upside the head, and it probably won't hurt.
What?
Right? You can't hurt me. Let's just be real. You cannot hurt me. But
Okay.
if a man is angry and he hits his wife,
Mhm,
he could cause serious damage.
yeah.
Right? So the man has to practice way more emotional intelligence because his
Mm,
lack of emotional intelligence could
okay.
cause greater severe harm.
That's to say that men are like stronger than females. Yes,
Yes, they are.
that's an
We physically
actual
are.
scientific
Yes,
fact.
facts.
Yes, that's a fact. But that doesn't say like the woman is not strong enough to. Okay, so in a relationship, men are strong physically, right? Women are stronger emotionally because we could say
I don't
something
think
and
y'all.
break you. We could say something and break you all the way down, and you'll feel like this,
That's for men with lack of emotional
right?
intelligence. If a
You'll
man
feel like this.
if a man doesn't have emotional intelligence, yes, you could say something to me that can break me down.
Yeah.
If I'm emotionally intelligent,
Mhm.
your attempts to break me down will not really phase me because I can say I can take what you said and be like, she's angry, she's just trying to hurt me,
Mm.
and then I don't have to be harmed by what you're saying because I know that what you're saying is just for an attempt to try to make me hurt as much as you're hurting
Mhm.
because you're doing these things and saying these things to me because you're hurting.
Mhm.
So I can understand that and I can recognize that no, I'm not gonna be torn down by her words.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a woman wants a man to want her, to love her, right?
Mhm.
So anything that he says to break her down has greater damage because she's more emotional. But she
Yeah,
attaches
because it goes deeper
everything
to an
to
emotion and feeling.
exactly. If
Mhm.
you're saying this about me, you're saying if you're saying this about something that you don't like, you're saying this about me. And
Mhm.
it's not always like that, but
Mhm.
that's how she receives it.
Mhm.
So
That's true. Yeah,
that's
because
why a man has to be way more emotionally intelligent when it comes to him communicating with his wife because everything he says can cut her
it
way
can
deeper
go
than he
deeper.
expected.
Yeah. So it's a balancing act.
Hmm. But that's why it has to be a man and a woman so that both mom and dad can help that one child understand why they feel this way
Mhm.
and why and how they should move given that they feel this way.
Yeah, and people should realize it takes two people to make that one human being. Why do you think it's
But they
just
don't have to be whole people. That's the problem.
hmm,
It doesn't take it doesn't take two whole people to make a child. It takes two people. They don't
hmm,
have to be whole. And once they're not whole, they're
hmm,
passing down an incomplete person or passing down the characteristics of an incomplete person, still making the next person
yeah.
incomplete and incapable of passing it down to the next generation. That's
Well,
why
I was speaking in physical sense, but
yeah.
the sense that you were saying makes sense too. But it does take two people in order to make one baby. You
Mhm.
can't just one person can't just go out and make a baby.
Yeah.
But it can be two incomplete people making one baby
Mhm.
and then passing down bad generational traits and
Yep. Generational habits,
yeah.
all of that. Generational sins, generational curses.
Yeah.
Uh son inherits the curses of his father
Mhm.
for 11 generations down, I think. But yeah, so it just has to be whole people,
Yeah.
and we got to not we have to recognize when we're not whole, so that
Mhm.
we don't pass down an incomplete.
But that's hard because people walk around thinking they're whole when
Like
in
all these women on
reality
here. All
Yeah.
these women on here think they hoe.
You know what? Let's play that Twitch's way. Because their relationship, people thought they thought he was a happy person.
Yeah.
But deep
It would
down
seem like you'd have
inside,
to be happy to be dancing like that.
yeah, but deep down inside he was broken,
Yeah.
right? So if you have this brokenness about you,
Mm-hmm.
then that goes to say something, right?
Yeah. Because if you don't know, Twitch was the dancer that was on Ellen DeGeneres show. He used
Mhm.
to do all the coordinating for the dances, and he super big dude, but took his own life, and now his wife is finally talking about it.
We were cleaning out the closet. A moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out. But it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain. But it was very alarming and scary to find those things and have never known.
That kind of goes with what I was talking about.
Yeah.
For men, and when we talk about women
Mhm.
being emotional, right? And men having to have emotional intelligence. The downside to having emotional intelligence is to say, I am hurting.
Mhm.
I'm hurting in this way or that way. But if I express it to her,
Mhm.
because she's emotional, she's gonna take that as a attack of to her inability to make me happy, or attack of it must be I must be saying that there's something wrong about you if I say that I'm not happy in a situation with you.
Mhm.
So who am I to say? How can I tell anybody that I'm unhappy if they're gonna receive it
As
by
personal
saying
attack.
it's a personal attack?
Mhm.
And that's a lot of times where men don't have the ability to express our feelings, because if I do, here's how the conversation goes. It goes like, okay, the things that are going on right now in our lives
Mhm.
is so tough for me. I'm having a hard time dealing with this situation. There's this going on over here, and there's that going on over here, and it's really weighing me down,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know how I can continue to move.
Mhm.
That's what the man says.
Yeah.
Here's the response. Well, you don't think things are hard for me? I've got the kids, I've got work, I'm making all the dinner, and
Mhm.
then my mom is always calling me, and my sister's doing this, and things are hard for me too, Twitch. I don't know what to tell you.
But what if she goes to him and say, "Babe, I understand things are hard. Let's figure out a way to make it better." And the guy is like, "Oh, yeah." They're not so much so as receptive of the help. There's a lot of men that cry for help, but when you go and try to give them help, your help is not good enough. So
Oh,
what
well,
do you do with that?
those guys are the guys that that have issues with their own selves.
Mhm.
Like those, a lot of times, those are the guys who are not willing to make decisions. A lot of times, they put themselves in situations.
Yeah.
They put you made decisions that put you into this situation,
Mhm.
and you don't want to admit to the decisions that you made.
Mhm.
But when something is out external of your control, and it sounds good, it
Mhm.
sounds good that she will respond like that. But
Mhm.
how often do you think she would respond like that? Of all the
Mhm.
women, for I think a lot of times women are walking around with weight on their shoulders,
Yeah.
and I don't believe there is any amount of work that a man can do to make it feel like she don't have any weight on her shoulders, except pay for her to have a personal assistant and a nanny and somebody that does all the chore, the cleaning in the house.
That'd
Now if
be
that,
nice.
yeah. But other than that, and then she still feels like she's doing a lot because now that I've got a personal assistant, I can do more work because I can just delegate to my personal assistant. So now I have all this work on my shoulders because I put all this work on my shoulders because I have someone that can assist me. But I am stuck in the fact that I really feel like I have to do more. And now you come to me with your stresses, like I don't have all this stress on my shoulders.
So you think that just because one person is going through stress and it's a lot, like they got a backpack of stress on them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think like your partner, you should be able to like unload or at least let your partner know like, hey, this is heavy. Even if your partner is giving you something else to hold and you're saying, oh, I have all this going on, you should I think like two people that are in a relationship, if you're struggling and going through something, y'all should be able to communicate with each other. Like say, hey, this is where I am and this is where I need to be. And y'all communicate with that with each other and try to formulate a way to fix it
Yeah.
or a way to have it done and be over with.
I think the problem with that is what you already stated
Mhm.
is is when one partner says, "Let me help you," and the
Mhm.
other one doesn't want to receive the help.
Mhm.
Because the problem that happens is, like I was saying, when one partner does not want to admit
Mhm.
or take the credit for their choices putting them in a situation.
Mhm.
So if you're not going to admit that your choices are putting you in this situation that has you stressed out,
Mhm.
then that means you're going to continue to do the choice that's getting you stressed out.
Mhm.
And then you're looking at me to help you with the stress on your shoulders that you keep putting on your shoulders. And now you're mad at me for suggesting that you take some of the weight off your shoulders by stopping the way you're acting in this moment or how you're acting to get you with the stress. But you don't want that.
Mhm.
Because that means you have to say that you're doing something wrong in the way you're putting things on your shoulders.
Mhm.
Maybe that's, oh my. So here's the analogy. Here's the analogy, right? All right. So when I was an instructor,
Mhm.
I was an instructor, and even before I was an instructor, but I taught my soldiers how to put everything into their rucksack
Mhm.
because you know how it is. You go to the field, and you put everything that's on that packing list to go out into a field environment for a field exercise. Some people just throw it all in there and it's like, "Yep, I got it." Right?
Mhm.
It's all in there. But here's the thing: it went into the bag, but you putting it on your shoulders and walking for 12 miles with everything you just put in your bag, you have it unevenly distributed. So
Mhm.
instead of
That
you
is true.
carrying it, so instead of you walking and
Mhm.
being able to move for 12 miles and still get there and set up your tent, your right hip has all the weight on it and your
Mhm.
right shoulder has all the weight. And now by the time you get there or halfway there, you're in so much
Hurt.
pain because you have the weight of what you put in your bag
Mhm.
unevenly distributed.
Yeah.
And then we'll say to I don't say the staff sergeant or the platoon sergeant, we're going too far. This is too much. But you're packing your stuff
Mhm.
that you have to carry. That's actually all of your equipment that belongs to you that you need to survive out there.
Mhm.
But you're complaining because it's unevenly distributed and it hurt.
And that's true. That's very true because all right, say the two soldiers, they both have the same equipment and
Hmm.
it's even unevenly distributed for one,
Yeah.
but the other one took direction
Yeah.
and packed it the right way.
Yep.
So they're able to go on and continue, but you have this weight
Yeah.
weighing you down because you packed it wrong.
Yep. So when I was in Korea and I was a staff sergeant, I taught my soldiers how to pack. Like,
Mhm.
this is everything you need to have. We laid everything out. And then I gave them a full half an hour instruction on how to pack it the right way.
Mhm.
Sleeping bag at the bottom, zip up that center piece so you can have access to your sleeping bag without everything falling out.
Mhm.
Wet weather bag, all of your clothing inside of that. I want you to put your wet weather top on the right side. I want you to put the wet weather the bottoms on the left side, because the bottoms you probably won't need if it rains, but you're definitely gonna need the wet weather top as soon as it rains, right? And then on top of that wet weather stuff, you can put your toiletry kit, because your toiletry kit is okay to get wet because it belongs in the bathroom anyway. But when you do that, everything fits in a certain way, where then I can also shove a little towel for when I take a shower down there with the sleeping bag and that extra crevice of space, and everything is distributed evenly. And if it rains while we're on the march, I can reach right in this pocket that's on the outside, pull it out, cover myself up, and keep walking. But I've had soldiers that are so hard-headed or they're so unwilling to change it, because guess what? If I have to change it, that means I have to take everything that I have in there out and redo it, and I don't want to redo it. So I'd rather take what I got it. Sorry, I'm gonna get there halfway through. I'm in so much pain I can't even keep going. But if I'd have just listened to you back there, and if we do that in a relationship, because sometimes we have our partner that says, hey, what if you do it this way? And he's like, nope, I'm gonna do it this way because that's the way I was already doing it. That's the way I want to do it. But then it's stressing me out. A week later, I want you to help me, but you should have listened to me when I told you last week.
Still should help. Like,
but not if you. But here's the problem:
if you get ignored enough,
if you
then
ignore
you
me,
help.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you ignore me every time I tell you there's a better way, and you still do it your way, stop looking at me for help when you are putting yourself in that position. Because here's the problem:
because you're supposed to have a love like God.
You are,
and
right?
God will never.
He'll
never leave or forsake you.
That's not true.
He
That's
won't.
not true. He left the Israelites wandering in the wood in the wilderness for 40 years. For 40 years, when it only took a week to get from the Egypt to the Promised Land. You know why? Because they kept wanting to do it by themselves. He said, okay, left them again to be taken over by the Babylonians, who got beat by the Persians, who then got beat by the Egyptians, going from one captivity to the next because y'all kept doing what you want to do. All right, fine. You got it. I'll turn my back. And that's what he did. And they stayed in captivity. You say, when you can have a guy, I love you so much that I'll help you. But if you keep wanting to do it your way, you do it your way. Don't be mad at me for not helping you do it the wrong way.
Some hard tricks.
Yeah, my bad. What do you think about emotional intelligence? Gosh.
Let us know in the comments. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Put a
Don't
rucksack
forget
in
to
the
subscribe.
comments.
We need subscribers.
Yes.
Subscribe
and share. No, even more than subscribers, share this with somebody. Share a snippet of it with somebody, because when somebody else sees a snippet, we get the views, and that makes YouTube push it out more, and then subscribe.
And you know what else? When you make those snips, find parts. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Find parts that resonate with you, and you share it, and you'll have discussions about it, because in our community, we need to have these discussions in order to make the change.
Yep. Hey, you. Yeah, you, with the face. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.